We now have some breaking news coming in from Bangkok, Thailand, where rescue teams in the city have recovered another body from the collapsed building in the city's Chatuchak district, bringing the death toll to at least 12. Fire and Rescue Thailand confirmed the discovery in a Facebook update, stating that the body was found in the upper section of the debris. Emergency crews continue to search for any remaining victims as authorities investigate the cause of the collapse. That is obviously a developing situation. We will continue to bring you any and all updates from that continuing and developing situation. We move on now to some news updates from Europe. Russia launched deadly drone strikes on Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, late on Saturday night, hitting a military hospital, a shopping centre and apartment blocks. 2 people were killed and at least 25 others, including servicemen, were injured. Ukrainian President Zelensky condemned the attack as a war crime. Just an hour earlier, President Volodymyr Zelensky called for a strong Western response to Russia's relentless assaults. Here is what he said.
Росію треба примусити до миру, і тільки примус спрацює. Вже надто довго на столі пропозиція Америки про безумовне припинення вогню, без адекватної відповіді з Росії. Це багато говорить. Вже могло би бути припинення вогню, якби на Росію був справді.
Ukraine reported that over 170 drones targeted multiple regions, including Kiev and Dnipro, where 4 people were killed. Meanwhile, Russia claimed control of 3 villages in eastern and southern Ukraine, further intensifying the conflict. Moscow's forces reportedly seized villages in Sumy. Ukraine has not confirmed these losses, and independent verification remains very difficult. To the Middle East now, where Hamas has agreed to a Gaza ceasefire proposal presented by mediators Egypt and Qatar, according to the group's chief Khalil al-Hayya. In a televised speech, he said Hamas had accepted the plan and urged Israel not to undermine it. The proposal reportedly includes the staggered release of Israeli hostages, with 5 being freed each week. This is what they said.
وقد تسلمنا قبل يومين مقترحا من الإخوة الوسطاء في مصر وقطر، تعاملنا معه بإيجابية ووافقنا عليه، ونأمل ألا يعطله الاحتلال أو أن يجهض جهود الوسطاء.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, however, has submitted a counter-proposal after reviewing the terms. Officials say it was drafted in full coordination with the United States. Egypt had earlier reported positive indications from Israel regarding a potential agreement, but it remains unclear if the 2 sides are close to a deal. Meanwhile, Hamas's armed wing has released a new video showing an Israeli hostage pleading for his release. The 3-minute footage features Elkanah Bobot, who was kidnapped from a music festival during Hamas's October 7th attack. We move now to the Indo-Pacific, where Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said on Sunday he expects to have a one-on-one discussion with US President Donald Trump regarding tariffs, as Washington prepares to announce new trade measures on April the 2nd. When asked whether he would personally raise the issue with Trump, Albanese said, "We'll have a one-on-one discussion." He noted that an earlier opportunity to speak was missed because Trump had chosen not to engage with other leaders before implementing his tariff regime. Australia's election campaign has increasingly focused on international relations, particularly regarding the US and China. Both Albanese's Labour Party and opposition leader Peter Dutton's Liberal National Coalition are presenting themselves as best suited to handle ties with the Trump administration. Dutton, on the other hand, has centred his campaign on housing affordability, arguing that high prices are making homeowners HIP unattainable for many Australians. His longer-term policy vision includes adopting nuclear power as part of Australia's energy future. After enjoying a strong lead of much of his term, Albanese's personal approval ratings have slipped and are now close to Dutton's, which just weeks to go before the election, both parties are intensifying their efforts to win over voters. Here's what Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said in an interview.
Well, we'll have a one-on-one discussion, but a couple of weeks ago, the reason why that didn't occur was because the President made a decision to not talk to anyone and to impose this regime on every country. Every single country is subject to those steel and aluminium tariffs. They represent a very small amount. US exports, bear this in mind to put it in some context, US exports represent around about 5% of Australia's exports to the world. The bigger impact on Australia is what the US does right around the world. That is the thing that is causing concern in global economy.
Over to Europe now, where France's trade ministry condemned unacceptable US interference after the American embassy in Paris sent letters to French firms warning against diversity programs. These are known as DEIs. The letters were sent to companies engaged or seeking to do business in the US. It included questionnaires asking firms to confirm they do not practice DEI, which the US claims infringes on federal anti-discrimination laws. France swiftly hit back, with the ministry calling the interference unjustified and affirming that the country would defend its companies and values. DEI programs promote opportunities for historically excluded groups and have been a frequent target of President Donald Trump. His January executive order banning DEI in federal programs also applies to US contractors globally. The US Embassy did not immediately respond, and it remains unclear how many companies received the letter. French business leaders have denounced the move, stressing it undermines France's sovereignty.